I can't move. This could be it for me. I'm already.
Are you giving up? Are you really my son?
You're the fourth Hokage.
You've grown up, Naruto.
Naruto, my name. But how?
How? I'm the one who named you. You're my son, after all.
Your son? Then you're...
Yep, that's right.
my dad. My dad. Why?
Naruto!
Why? Why? Why would you ever put nine tails inside your own son? How could you put me through all of that? The Akatsuki are after me! I fought with them, and then I was so lonely. But I kept it inside.
Forgive me. To leave you alone all that time must have been terrible. I suppose it's little consolation for me to wear a fatherly face and apologize after putting you through all that.
Dad.
But I'm relieved.
You're relieved?
You're bearing everyone's will. And you've grown up with a good head on your shoulders, just as I'd hoped for.
Everyone's will?
Yes. Just looking at you now, I can tell. You have the will of Jiraiya-sensei, Kakashi, the third Hokage, and all the people of the village inside of you. You're carrying it well, and you're moving forward.
You think so?
You're just like I used to be.
Like you?
That's right. I was bearing the will and wishes of all sorts of people myself. I was carrying something very valuable. Just like you are now, Naruto.
Madara Uchiha. What he did to my dad.
If I said I had no regrets, it would be a lie. Because of the mask, our village was destroyed, and as a result, I left you all alone. But, to tell you the truth, at the time, I was completely content.
How come?
Because I'd managed to protect what was most important to me.
And what would that be?
What do you think? You, Naruto. You're my son. In this world, there is nothing more valuable to me and your mother. You are very special. And you're alive and well. You can't imagine how much joy that brings to your mother and me. Now, you've got so many people counting on you, and you're moving forward with a will of iron. And for that, I'm proud of you. But listen to me. Your fight still isn't over. I know you have many trials and tribulations ahead. As your father, it saddens me that I can't go through them at your side. But Naruto, I believe in you.
I'll never lose. I'll just keep moving forward, no matter what happens. I'll never give up. I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. After all, I am your son, right?
Right. I'm leaving the rest up to you.
Dad!
I guess it's about time. My chakra's run out.
What? You're going already?
Cheer up, son. I'll always be with you. Remember what I said. You have the will of many inside you.
Yeah.
I'll always be at your side. Always supporting you. Together, always.
There are stories whispered across the stars. Stories even the Otsutsuki fear to speak aloud. Stories about a mortal whose heart burned too brightly for the universe to ignore. A man who defied fate so many times that fate itself began to bend around him. This is the tale of Naruto Uzumaki, but not the Naruto you once knew. This is the story of the man who was taken by the divine tree and returned as something far beyond a god, a benevolent Otsutsuki, a paradox that should not exist, the death that wasn't a death. When the Ten Tails roared for the final time, when the higher Otsutsuki descended to rewrite the world, the seventh Hokage made one last decision: not to escape, not to seek power, not to cling to life. He stepped forward to protect his village, to protect his son, to protect a world that had never stopped testing him. Naruto allowed the divine tree's roots to coil around him and pull him into its core, so no one else would have to bear the burden. The world believed he died that day, but death was never meant for someone like Naruto Uzumaki. Inside the divine tree, unlike the legends shinobi spoke of, was not simply a parasitic monster. It was a judge, a cosmic observer, a silent archivist of the universe, choosing which souls deserved to vanish and which souls deserved to be reborn. Every entity it consumed had their essence erased, their memories dissolved, their chakra extracted, their will shredded into dust. Except one. When the tree touched Naruto's soul, something unprecedented happened. It paused. The roots that devoured worlds hesitated. The light that burned through dimensions dimmed, because within Naruto's being, the tree found something it had never encountered. A heart that refused to break, a will that refused to yield, a love for others so fierce it outshined divinity itself. Naruto's spirit glowed inside the core like a golden sun. The tree analyzed him, studied him, tried to categorize him, but it couldn't. He was not a threat. He was not prey. He was not a vessel. He was an anomaly, a singularity of hope, courage, compassion, the one force the Otsutsuki lineage could not quantify. Something so pure, so impossibly human, that the tree itself began to change, and in its uncertainty, it made a choice. The rebirth of a man who defied gods. Instead of draining his chakra, the tree fed him chakra. Instead of erasing his memories, it preserved them. Instead of overriding his will, it amplified it. Naruto's mortal body dissolved in a cocoon of divine light, not as a victim, but as a seed. His soul was restructured, not destroyed. A new form began to take shape, hair turning white, like purified moonlight, eyes shifting into patterns no human, no Otsutsuki had ever witnessed. Symbols of creation rather than destruction. Skin glowing softly, not cold or cruel, but radiant and warm. Yes, he inherited the power of the Otsutsuki, but he carried the love of his people, the loyalty of his friends, the stubborn kindness of a boy who once promised to change the world. He was reborn not as a tyrant, not as a cosmic predator, but as the first benevolent Otsutsuki, a guardian, a mediator, a being of balance, humanity wrapped in divinity. Even the tree bowed to him, and then he awakened. When Naruto opened his new eyes, the entire dimension trembled. Across distant galaxies, Otsutsuki froze mid-step, sensing a presence so unprecedented that instinct, something they shouldn't even possess, pulled at their chests. A whisper moved through the cosmic network. A god has risen, but he is not one of us. Naruto looked down at his new hands, glowing softly, wrapped in divine chakra that felt like a gentle fire. He inhaled, and the entire realm inhaled with him. Then he spoke, calm, compassionate, resolute. If the world needs a god, then let it be one who protects. The tree pulsed in agreement. The cosmos shifted, and the era of the Otsutsuki changed forever, because a new divinity had awakened, not born from hunger and domination, but from love. A boy from the leaf, returned as a god of hope. Naruto did not understand the full extent of what he had become. Not yet, but the divine tree did. Because the moment Naruto awakened, the tree reacted like a heartbeat finding a new rhythm. A pulse of light spreading across the dimension, carrying with it something the Otsutsuki had no word for. Compassion. Naruto raised his hand and watched the glow surrounding it. It wasn't like chakra. It wasn't even like nature energy. It felt like harmony, like every particle in the world existed in agreement, like nothing was fighting him. Not the ground beneath his feet, not the air, not the memories drifting through the dimension. For the first time in his life, Naruto felt no resistance, no hatred, no malice, not even danger, only stillness. Yet within that stillness, he felt something else. A call, a faint pain, the echo of two familiar presences struggling far away, across worlds, across time, across fate itself. Sasuke, Boruto. Their names left his lips like a prayer. The moment he spoke them, the dimensions stirred violently. The light around him trembled. The roots of the divine tree tightened. The entire realm gasped, as if the universe feared where Naruto's heart was pointing. Because the tree understood something Naruto had not realized yet. He was no longer bound to the world of men. Not by life, not by chakra, not by mortality. He had become too divine, and the mortal world could not contain him. White medium star, the Otsutsuki Council trembles. Across distant galaxies, inside a realm reserved only for the highest-ranking Otsutsuki, beings of pure white energy, older than civilization itself, the entire council froze. Their existence pulsed in alarm. A light, gentle yet powerful enough to bend destiny, radiated from the divine tree's direction. One of the elders spoke, voice shaking. A divine seed has awakened. Another hissed, impossible. No mortal soul can survive integration with the tree. A third whispered, horrified, then what exactly has awakened? A silent answer rippled through their minds. Not a destroyer, not a conqueror, not a weapon, a protector, something the Otsutsuki lineage had never produced in all of history. Naruto Uzumaki, a god born not from hunger, but from love. One elder trembled, their voice cracking. This cannot be allowed. A benevolent Otsutsuki threatens the cycle. Another replied, then we must move. We must converge. We must rewrite him. But deep down, even they knew the truth. They were terrified. Terrified of a god who did not obey. Terrified of a god who did not consume. Terrified of a god who would stand between them and their eternal cycle of domination. Terrified of a god who chose to protect. White medium star Naruto tests his new power. Naruto lifted his foot gently and stepped forward. Reality bent. Light swirled beneath his toes, forming patterns of creation. Where his foot touched the ground, small flowers of pure chakra sprouted from the void, golden blossoms that grew and faded in seconds. What is this? Naruto whispered, The tree pulsed behind him, as if answering. You can create now, not illusions, not energy forms. Creation, raw, divine life. Naruto closed his eyes, and the entire realm responded. He could sense galaxies. He could sense the flow of time. He could sense pain in distant worlds. And most of all, he could sense them. Sasuke, Boruto, their suffering echoed like a trembling heartbeat inside his soul. His chest tightened, painfully. Sasuke's hurt. Boruto too. The moment he spoke their names again, the realm cracked. Golden light burst from his back, spreading like wings. The divine tree shook violently, roots twisting, leaves shedding divine radiance. Naruto braced himself. I have to go back. I have to help them. He took a step forward toward the mortal world, and the entire dimension collapsed around him. The ground vanished. The sky shattered. The fabric of existence twisted violently like a storm. Naruto staggered, gripping his chest. A voice, the voice of the divine tree, resonated in his mind. You are no longer fit for the mortal plane. Naruto froze. His breath stopped. What are you talking about? I have to go back. The voice softened, filled with sorrow. You are divine now. Your presence would tear the mortal world apart. Naruto trembled. He had become too powerful, too luminous, too divine. His body, his soul, his chakra, everything about him now was a cosmic force. If he returned in this form, he would annihilate the world he wanted to protect. White medium star, the heart of a god who still loves. No, Naruto whispered. I can't accept that. I've never abandoned anyone, and I'm not abandoning them now. He clenched his fists. Golden light exploded from his body. The dimension shattered into spirals of fire and creation. Naruto roared, I will find a way back. Every corner of the cosmos shook. The tree trembled. The Otsutsuki council panicked. And far across the universe, Sasuke and Boruto felt a sudden warmth, like a hand reaching out to them from eternity. A whisper echoed across dimensions. I'm coming back. But how would a god return to a world meant for mortals? Naruto didn't know, but he would find the answer, because divinity had not changed his heart. He was still Naruto Uzumaki, and Naruto Uzumaki never gave up. Naruto stood in the collapsing dimension, golden light swirling around him like a storm of dying stars. He had become something the world was never meant to witness, a divine entity wrapped in human memory. But divinity brought a curse with it. He could no longer return home. The tree had made that very clear. But Naruto Uzumaki had never accepted limits. Not from fate, not from gods, not even from death itself. He placed a hand over his chest. The golden glow inside him pulsed like a second heart. Sasuke, Boruto, everyone, I have to come back. His voice quivered, not from fear, but from longing. And longing is a dangerous force when possessed by a god. The dimension reacted instantly. Light bent, time twisted, space contorted. Naruto's divine chakra was so overwhelming that the entire realm trembled just by feeling his determination. White medium star, the first attempt, failure. Naruto closed his eyes. He pushed his chakra inward, compressing it, condensing it, forcing celestial power into a mortal shape. It was like trying to squeeze a star into a teacup. The moment his energy condensed, the universe shattered. Reality broke like glass around him. Fragments of galaxies flickered. Stars inverted. Dimensional barriers cracked like thin ice. Naruto gasped and stumbled backward. No. If I go like this, I'll destroy everything. He dropped to one knee, clutching the ground, which flickered between stone, light, and void. He wasn't just too powerful. He was a cosmic presence now, a living truth that warped space just by existing. The divine tree's sorrowful voice returned. Your spirit evolved beyond the mortal plane. You must accept your new existence. But Naruto shook his head fiercely. No, I won't give up on them. On the world. On my family. The tree whispered, You are love, but love cannot hold back a sun. Naruto clenched his fists so tightly they cracked with light. I'll find a way, even if I have to break the laws of creation. The dimension trembled in fear. White medium star, the Otsutsuki primordials gather. Across the divine network, far beyond the leaves of the tree, something stirred. A realm of pure blankness, infinite, silent, nameless. This was the origin, where the true Otsutsuki resided. Not parasites, not conquerors, not travelers, but architects, beings of pure concept, who shaped dimensions long before chakra existed. When Naruto's divinity bloomed, the entire origin realm rippled. One of the primordials opened its many eyes. The anomaly attempts to descend. Another responded as its form shifted like liquid logic. A benevolent god is a paradox. It threatens the balance. A third, oldest and most vast, whispered, Rewrite him, reduce him, contain him. Their voices echoed through the multiverse. If he returns to the mortal plane, the cycle breaks. The primordials extended their influence toward the divine tree dimension, not as travelers, but as laws of reality tightening their grip. The air around Naruto grew colder, the dimension darkened, and a presence descended, a voice that felt like the beginning of time itself. Naruto, Uzumaki. Naruto turned sharply, golden light rising from his body in waves. A figure formed out of white fire and spiral patterns, taller than any Otsutsuki he had ever faced, and yet somehow less human than all of them. It had no mouth, no face, no shape, just existence. Your return is forbidden. Naruto stepped forward, eyes glowing. I don't care what you think is allowed. The primordial replied, You are divinity wrapped in memory. Your love makes you unstable. Naruto's voice trembled, but his tone was unwavering. That's exactly why I have to go back. The primordial extended a hand of pure white logic. Then we will erase your desire. And the world turned white. White medium star, Naruto's true power awakens. Naruto gasped as the primordial's power reached into his mind. Not to harm him, but to rewrite him. Memories flickered, faces blurred, voices faded. Hinata, Boruto, Himawari, Iruka, Kakashi, Jiraiya, Team 7, all dissolving into static. Naruto screamed, but no sound came out. His voice was lost in the flood of divine pressure. Then, a whisper, small, soft, familiar. Dad, don't forget us. Boruto's voice. Then Himawari's. Please come home. Naruto's eyes snapped open. Golden tears fell. Tears so powerful, they rippled through the dimension. And something shattered. Not in the world around him, but inside him. A seal broke. One the tree had never placed. A power older than the Otsutsuki. Older than the primordials. Older than chakra itself. The original will of life. It pulsed like a heartbeat inside his chest. The primordial recoiled in shock. Impossible. Naruto stood, golden light blinding, overflowing, uncontrollable. His voice shook the cosmos. No one rewrites my love. The primordial stepped back. For the first time in existence, it felt fear. Naruto raised his hand. Golden light erupted, forming a sphere of creation energy, pure, benevolent, unstoppable. The kind of power that could rewrite gods. Naruto whispered, I won't abandon my world. He pressed the sphere against his own chest. Reality exploded. The explosion of golden light did not behave like an attack. It behaved like a decision. Creation folded into itself. Time recoiled. Even the primordial Otsutsuki, beings older than galaxies, shielded themselves from the shockwave that rippled through existence. Naruto floated there, suspended in the storm of his own divinity, his form flickering between godhood and mortality. He felt pain, not physical, but spiritual, like two versions of his soul were trying to merge in the same space. He gasped. Light poured from his mouth, his eyes, his chest. What is happening to me? The tree answered first, its voice trembling. You invoked the origin, the first spark of creation. Naruto fell to his knees, gripping his chest as the golden sphere he had pressed into himself continued to expand inside him like a sun being forced into a human body. Every heartbeat sent shockwaves through the dimension. The primordial stepped forward, cautious now. You are destabilizing the layers of reality. If you attempt to descend in this state, your very presence will unmake the mortal world. Naruto gritted his teeth. Then I'll change my presence. The primordial froze. Change your nature? Naruto clenched his fist. I've rewritten destiny before. I can rewrite myself. White medium star, the second attempt. The body that couldn't hold the soul. Naruto reached inward again, deeper this time, grabbing the expanding core of divine creation inside him. He tried to compress it. Light screamed. Space shattered. The realm bent. His body flickered. Mortal, divine, mortal, divine. His outline distorting like a candle in a storm. Hold. Hold. But the power was too vast, like trying to hold the ocean in cupped hands. The golden sphere inside him burst outward again, ripping open the dimension, sending shards of reality swirling like feathers. Naruto collapsed, his breathing heavy. His knees hit a surface that wasn't truly ground. The tree whispered, "You are too bright for the mortal plane." Naruto slammed his fist into the ground, cracks of light exploding outward. I don't care how bright I am. My family needs me, my friends the world. Golden tears rolled down his cheeks. Not sadness, conviction. My place is with them, not here. White medium star, the primordials panic. Across the origin realm, the primordials gathered like shadows condensing into focus. Naruto's light reached their domain, something no being had ever done. One of them trembled. He is rewriting his essence. Another hissed. If he succeeds, the creation cycle collapses. A third, the largest, the eldest, spoke with dread. A mortal should not be able to choose their form across dimensions. Yet Naruto wasn't listening to gods. He never had. White medium star, the third attempt, the heart of a Hokage. Naruto stood again, barely, his body shaking under the weight of infinite power. He spread his hands. Golden wind spiraled around him, forming a cocoon of creation energy. He whispered to himself, "Think like a shinobi, not like a god." He remembered his training, his father, Jiraiya, Kakashi, the battlefield, the village, Team 7, Boruto, and Himawari. Hinata's warmth. Naruto held those memories tight. That's who I am. That's who I'll stay. He pulled the divine light inward, but this time he shaped it the way he used to mold Rasengan. Circular, contained, focused. The tree gasped. He is doing it. He is shaping divinity like chakra. Naruto roared, a sound that tore through galaxies. Seal. The cocoon tightened, shrinking, 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 until the light collapsed into his chest, forming a glowing mark like a divine seal. Naruto fell forward panting, steam rising off his body. The primordial watched in disbelief. He reduced his divinity. Naruto stood, slowly, wiping the light from his eyes. His form was stabilizing. His aura was softer, gentler, controlled, but his power was still terrifying. The primordial whispered, "You have created a god in the shape of a man." Naruto responded simply, "I created what I needed to be for them." White medium star, the path opens. With his divinity sealed inside a mortal shell, Naruto extended his hand. The air cracked. Space bent. A portal formed, glowing gold and blue, leading to the world of shinobi. He could feel it. The sky, the earth, Sasuke, Boruto, the village. He reached out, but the primordial appeared between him and the portal. Its voice vibrated through eternity. If you step through, you step into war. Naruto placed a hand on the primordial's chest of white fire. His golden eyes softened. Then I'll fight for them. The primordial asked, and if the cycle breaks? Naruto smiled gently. Then I'll build a better one. The primordial hesitated, and for the first time since creation began, it stepped aside. Naruto walked forward. Light swirled around him. The portal widened. The mortal world waited. He whispered one last thing before stepping through. I'm coming home. And Naruto Uzumaki, a god clothed as a man, returned toward the world that shaped him. The moment Naruto stepped through the golden portal, the world of shinobi felt it. Not as light, not as chakra, but as a presence, a weight pressing gently against existence itself. A warmth so vast it made the sky tremble. Naruto emerged in the mortal world, but the world was not ready for him. White medium star, the sky reacts first. Above the land of fire, clouds twisted into spirals of gold and white. Thunder rumbled, not violent, but resonant, like the heartbeat of a sleeping deity. Birds froze in mid-flight. Animals went silent. Leaves fluttered without wind. The air shimmered as if it remembered something ancient. Old sages felt their bones ache. In the far mountains, toads and snakes lifted their heads simultaneously. Even nature itself whispered, "He has returned." But this was no longer the chakra of a Jinchuriki, no longer the aura of the Sage of Six Paths. It was something beyond that, a divine presence wrapped carefully inside a human shell, a god who chose to remain gentle. White medium star, the effect on the shinobi world. Across Konoha, sudden warmth spread through the air. Children felt calm. Flowers opened even in winter's cold. Wounded soldiers felt their pain ease for a moment, though they didn't know why. In the hospital, a patient muttered, "Feels like the Hokage is smiling." Nurses looked at each other, confused. In the Hokage's office, papers fluttered without wind. A picture frame vibrated. The one with Naruto, Hinata, Boruto, and Himawari. Hinata looked up from her quiet prayer and felt her heart pound. Himawari dropped a brush mid-stroke. Boruto froze mid-step. Feeling a shiver of warmth he could not explain. Something inside him whispered, "Dad." White medium star, Sasuke feels it most. Far away, in the middle of a battlefield scarred by Otsutsuki interference, Sasuke stopped mid-motion. His sword lowered, his Rinnegan pulsed, his Sharingan trembled. He felt it, not a surge of chakra, not a beacon of power, but a presence he knew better than his own heartbeat. No way. He looked toward the horizon, a faint glow of gold rising like the sunrise. That idiot! His chest tightened, not in fear, not in awe, but in something far deeper. Recognition. Because Sasuke Uchiha had always been able to sense Naruto. In war, in peace, in death, in memory. And what he felt now was impossible, but real. Naruto Uzumaki was back. And he was no longer just a man. White medium star, the land of fire shifts. As Naruto walked, his sealed divinity leaked out slowly. Tiny sparks of golden chakra rising from his hair, his shoulders, his fingertips. Each spark drifted into the world and changed it. A dying tree sprouted new leaves. A broken riverbank healed its flow. Dark storm clouds parted, not because Naruto meant to do it, but because the world remembered him. Every step he took hummed with calm, warmth, balance. a kind of peace no other being could bring. He looked at his hands, glowing faintly. "Still too much," he whispered. He tightened his divine seal. The glow dimmed. The air stabilized. But the world had already noticed him. White medium star, the true Otsutsuki, descend. Far beyond the mortal sky, cracks formed. Dimensional fractures widened like wounds. White light spilled through. The primordial clan had found him. They appeared not as humanoid figures, but as colossal silhouettes of spiral patterns and ancient energy, descending like celestial judges. One spoke with a voice that shook the clouds. "The benevolent anomaly has breached the mortal veil." Another, "Prepare for correction." A third, "This world must be rewritten." Their shadows spread across the land like eclipses. Animals ran. Shinobi froze. Nature trembled. Naruto looked up slowly. Golden light reflected in his eyes. He whispered to himself, "I knew you'd come." His aura surged, still sealed but radiant. He clenched his fists. "I will protect them. Even as a god, I am still me." The ground glowed under his feet. The true Otsutsuki descended, and the world held its breath. The sky tore open like a wound in reality. Light spilled downward, pure, white, merciless, as the true Otsutsuki descended into the world. Not the Otsutsuki of legend, not the ones who devoured planets, not the ones humanity feared. These were the primordials, the architects of creation, the ones who wrote the very laws of existence. Their forms were impossible to describe. They flickered between shapes, sometimes humanoid, sometimes like vast spirals of geometry, sometimes like living constellations. They radiated an aura, not of power, but of authority, the authority of gods who believed themselves above all life. Naruto stood beneath them, small in size, but brighter than all of them combined. White medium star, the primordial Otsutsuki speak. The largest of the primordials materialized into a humanoid silhouette, towering above the treetops. Its voice rolled like thunder. "Naruto Uzumaki, you have become a paradox." Naruto exhaled slowly. Golden steam drifted from his shoulders. "I didn't ask for this," he said softly, "but I won't let you hurt anyone." Another primordial descended, its voice colder. "Your benevolence threatens the cycle." A third added, "Power is not meant to protect. It is meant to correct." Naruto's eyes narrowed, a golden blue shimmer flickering within their depths. "The only thing that needs correcting," he said, "is your understanding of life." For the first time in millennia, the primordials paused. This mortal-made god had spoken to them as an equal. White medium star, the confrontation. The ground beneath Naruto glowed faintly, not from hostility, but from the sheer weight of divine energy leaking through his sealed form. Wind curled around him. Leaves swirled upward. The air shimmered like heat. The world recognized its protector. The primordial Otsutsuki did not. "You have rewritten yourself against our design. You must be undone." Naruto's voice remained calm, heartbreakingly calm. "I won't fight unless you force me, but I will never let you rewrite this world." The largest primordial raised a hand, a gesture that bent the surrounding space like clay. "Then your compassion becomes the first flaw we erase." A spear of white energy formed, humming with creation and destruction. Yet Naruto didn't move. He didn't flinch. He simply whispered, "If kindness is a flaw, then I am proud to be imperfect." The spear launched. The sky cracked. But before the attack could reach Naruto, white medium star Sasuke intervenes. A blade of purple-blue light cut across the battlefield. Time slowed. The spear dissolved. Sasuke Uchiha stepped beside Naruto, his Susanoo aura crackling violently, his cloak torn, eyes blazing with both Sharingan and Rinnegan. "Idiot," Sasuke muttered. "You really came back." Naruto smiled softly. "Sasuke, I. Save it, Sasuke snapped, though his voice trembled. You made the whole dimension shake. I couldn't ignore that even if I wanted to. Naruto's eyes softened. The primordials examined Sasuke with cold indifference. An incomplete mortal. A fragment of power. Irrelevant. Sasuke scoffed. TCH, you talk too much for oversized light bulbs. Naruto couldn't help but laugh. Even now, White Medium Star, the primordials recognize a threat. As Sasuke ignited his Susanoo arm, the primordials scanned him, not for power, but for something else. The largest one whispered, "This mortal carries the flawed resonance of the anomaly." Another added, "Together they form a contradiction in the code." The third concluded, "They must be erased simultaneously." Multiple spears materialized, dozens, then hundreds, like a storm of divine execution. Naruto stepped forward instinctively. "Sasuke, get behind." Sasuke cut him off. "I didn't come here to hide behind a god." Naruto's chest tightened. Sasuke's words weren't defiance. They were faith. "I came," Sasuke continued, "because you're Naruto, god or not." Naruto blinked slowly, and for a moment, his divinity dimmed, his humanity shining through stronger. "Then let's protect this world," Naruto said. Sasuke smirked. "Finally something we agree on." White Medium Star, the attack begins. The spears rain down. Naruto raised a hand. Golden light blossomed. A barrier formed. A dome of warmth and calm, strong enough to deflect the judgment of gods. The ground shook. Mountains cracked. The sky split. But Naruto's shield held. The primordials recoiled in genuine shock. This cannot be. Power used for protection. Creation turned into sanctuary. He is illogical. Naruto stepped forward, the golden aura around him shimmering like dawn. "I'm not here to destroy you," he said quietly. "I'm here to show you something you've forgotten." The primordials hissed. "And what is that?" Naruto placed a hand over his heart. "The purpose of power." He looked at Sasuke. Sasuke nodded silently. "Power exists to protect the ones you love." The world shook with the truth of his words. The primordials screamed, not in fear, but in confusion, because a god who loved was a concept they had never created. Naruto Uzumaki stood between them and the world, a god who chose humanity, a god who could never belong to the cycle, a god they could not understand, a god they feared. The war had begun,